Elsie, I sense that there's something you're withholding from me right now.
Oh, Marilyn. Hello. It's nice to hear from you too. You think I'm keeping something from you? Well, I can't think of anything specific, but
Don't lie to me, young lady. I'm your mother-in-law, for heaven's sake. Honestly, I can't believe you. You're aware that you don't earn much money. Yet you're living such a luxurious lifestyle. It's quite shameful, really.
excuse me? You think I spend too much on myself? I'm trying to think if I made any significant purchases recently, but nothing comes to mind. I suppose if I stretch the definition of living lavishly. Yesterday at lunch when my usual meal was out of stock, I picked a slightly more expensive one next to it, costing about $1 more, but is that it?
You know very well that's not what I'm referring to.
I genuinely don't know what you're talking about. Could you please explain your concerns?
I see, so that's how you're going to be. You'll continue acting smug and arrogant about your spending without informing me, your mother-in-law? Is that how you treat someone? You should be ashamed.
I truly have no clue what you could be talking about right now. I'm being completely honest, I have no idea.
Whatever. I've had enough of this charade. Let's get straight to the point. Because I know about what you've been hiding, despite your futile attempts to keep it from me. I brought it up to see if you would admit it or continue lying.
Are you even listening to me? I honestly have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not hiding anything.
Wow, I didn't expect much from you, yet you still managed to disappoint me.
Are you even listening to a word I'm saying? I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm not hiding anything.
Well, fine. If that's how you're going to be, then I understand. I'll leave now.
Marilyn. Hello. I promise I'm telling you the truth.
Hi Mom, it's been a while since we last talked. How have you been? How are things going for you?
Oh, Frank. What a pleasant surprise. Your dad and I have been doing well, as usual. No major changes here. I assume you and Jessica are still getting along, right?
Yes, we are. No problems that I can think of. Thanks for asking.
And the honeymoon is coming up soon, isn't it? Soon, both of you will be busy, not just as husband and wife, but with work too.
Well, yes, you're right about that. We're probably going to enter a busy period in our lives from now on. Fortunately, we'll have each other to rely on. By the way, I wanted to thank you for teaching me how to take care of a house and do the housework properly. I'm really grateful for that. You and Dad emphasized the importance of splitting the housework among ourselves to maintain a good home. Especially when everyone is busy with a job. I want you to know that I've taken that to heart. And appreciate everything I've learned from both of you.
Ah, that's so sweet to hear. Thank you so much. I'm glad you found it helpful in your adult life.
Oh, and there's one more thing. I actually have something I want to ask you, if that's alright.
Of course, what is it?
Remember when I mentioned earlier that Jessica and I plan to have a holiday honeymoon?
Of course. Jessica told me on the phone earlier. We'll definitely miss having you here, but a honeymoon is more important.
Well, we were thinking of cutting our trip a little short. And spending the holidays with you and Dad before we leave.
Oh, really? That would be wonderful. When were you thinking of coming?
We were actually hoping it would be alright. if we stayed with you from the 24th until New Year's? And then go on our trip afterwards.
Yes. That would be fine. We'd love to have you here. But are you sure Jessica is okay with spending the holidays with us instead of going on the honeymoon or being with her family?
Well, the thing is, her parents go on a fancy trip every year around this time. So they won't even be home then.
Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense. In that case, both of you are more than welcome to come spend the holidays here. We'll be more than happy to have you. I'll even make my traditional sapapillas, just like Abuelita used to make.
Oh wow, Mom, that would be absolutely incredible. I can't remember the last time I had your cooking, and you know how much I love them. And of course, we'll be more than happy to help out in the kitchen while we're there.
Oh, Mijo, that would be so sweet of you too to help out. But are you sure you won't be exhausted after your honeymoon? I'll just be happy to have the company here. You don't need to worry about doing any work while you're here.
Well, the truth is, it was Jessica's idea. I think she wants to learn a bit about cooking from you since I talk you up so much.
Oh, well, both of you are just too sweet.
No, honestly, I'm really grateful that you and Jessica get along so well. It means a lot to me, you know?
Oh, what do you mean? Why wouldn't we get along? She's a lovely girl.
Well, it's just that, you know how Abuelita can be, right? I think she really likes teasing Jessica in the same way she likes to try and mess with you.
Mijo. Come on, you know you shouldn't talk about your abuelita that way.
Mom, it's really nice of you to say, but we all see it happening. I know you're trying to keep the peace in the family. But I don't think we should pretend like there aren't any issues.
Don't you think it's possible that this is her way of showing her love for us, though? You know how much she cares about you. I'm sure she's just trying to make sure her grandson is well taken care of at home. Besides, I really don't think she would ever overstep her boundaries and do something to harm your relationship.
Okay, Mom. Well, I really hope you're right. The last thing I want is for this to turn into a huge ugly affair between all of us. Okay then, once I finish my work on the 29th, we'll head straight to your place. I can't wait to see you, Mom. Te quiero mucho.
Si, ese, Mijo. I'll be waiting for you here. Take your time. Can't wait to see you too.
Elsie, are you there? I need to discuss some things with you.
Oh, hello again, Marilyn. Happy New Year! I hope you had a great time celebrating.
Here we go again. Are you going to pretend like you're not hiding anything from me? I thought we would have resolved this by now.
Sorry, what are you talking about? Oh. Are you referring to the conversation we had the other day? Is that what this is about? You're right. I was hoping we would have moved past that by now.
Actually, I wanted to let you know that I just arrived at your place and let myself in.
Oh. Really? Did you come all this way to celebrate the holidays with us? If you had told me, we would have picked you up. You didn't have to go through all that trouble.
Yes. Initially, I thought about it. But then I realized it wasn't necessary, so I didn't bother informing you.
Oh. Well. Okay then. Is there something you need from us or something you'd like to do?
I'm just messaging to inform you that I took the plane ticket from your bag that was in the foyer.
The plane ticket? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean.
I know you were planning a trip, right? That's why I went through your bag by the front door and searched until I found your plane ticket. Now I'm going on the trip in your place.
You went through my belongings without asking? That's not okay to do.
Well, it's too late now. I'm already at the airport.
Wait, no, you can't use that ticket. It's no good. Don't try it.
It's too late. I'm already turning off my phone. Bon voyage.
Hey, Mijo. Did you misplace your plane ticket? Have you seen it recently?
Oh, hi Mom. Funny you mention it because I can't seem to find my ticket. I checked my bag this morning to make sure I had everything ready for the trip, and it was there. But when I reached the airport and looked where I last saw it, it was gone. Wait a second. How did you know it was missing?
Because your grandmother took the ticket out of your bag.
What? Abuelita took my ticket? What are you talking about?
Apparently, she came by this morning. You had placed both of your bags there last night to get ready for the trip, right? I have no idea what she was thinking. But she decided she would take the trip instead of you two. So she went through your bag, found your ticket, and left. She mentioned she would board the plane soon and planned to turn off her phone.
What? Seriously? That's insane. Why would she do something like that?
I don't understand either. But I think she might have found the spare key we gave to your abuelito a while ago. I apologize for not noticing her coming in.
What? Mom, none of this is your fault. How could you have predicted she would do something like this? I mean, honestly, what could she have been thinking? It doesn't make any sense.
I really have no clue. I know for sure that this was directed at me, not you, though. She didn't want me to take the trip for some reason. But I never told her about my plans or expressed any intention to go anywhere. I have no idea what she was thinking.
Wow. This is all crazy. But you know, sometimes she gets so wrapped up in her own delusions. And she often blames you as the bad guy. Maybe that's what happened here, don't you think?
But then, what should we do, Mijo? Did she only take your plane ticket? Are you sure nothing else is missing?
The ticket is the only thing I noticed was missing.
Well, if things are okay where you two are staying, then it might be possible to make the trip by car. But considering the traffic and the time it would take, I don't think I can recommend that in good faith.
I understand. Thanks anyway. I guess I'll have to give up on the trip then.
What? You mean you're not going?
Well, like you said, if we can't go by car, there isn't much of a choice, right? Besides, Jessica gets really car sick on long drives. Even if it's a relatively short distance. With the traffic and frequent stops, it would feel like a cross-country trip. It's not a good idea to go by car, especially since we initially planned to fly.
Right, no, that makes total sense.
Besides, it's not just you who didn't notice what she did. Jessica and I completely missed it as well. I guess I should call the hotel we booked and cancel our reservations. Of course, this close to the date, there might be a hefty cancellation fee. Not the best way to spend our honeymoon.
Oh, pobrecito. I'm sorry this happened.
It's okay. There's nothing we can do at this point. I suppose we'll just head back to your place if that's all right.
Yes, of course. I'll be here when you get home, don't worry.
Elsie, I just returned from my trip. It was an incredible way to spend the holidays, absolutely amazing. I've just landed and I'm currently at the airport, so please hurry and come pick me up.
Marilyn, it seems like you had a fantastic time on your trip, didn't you?
Oh, yes, it was absolutely wonderful. I had an amazing time. And it was all thanks to your generous spending that I was able to go and fully enjoy myself without any cost. Though I had to figure out the accommodation on my own since I didn't know where you had planned to stay. But as the family matriarch, it was my duty to discipline you for your unnecessary extravagance. I suppose I should thank you for giving me the opportunity to do just that.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're feeling proud of yourself. However, I should inform you that the trip you took wasn't something I planned for myself at all.
Excuse me? I don't understand what you mean.
What I'm saying is that you still don't realize what you've done, do you?
Honestly, what are you talking about? You're not making any sense.
Have you forgotten about your grandson and his holiday plans?
Stop beating around the bush and get to the point. I still don't know what you're trying to say. Are you referring to Frank? What about him? Did something happen?
Yes, something did happen to him, indeed. The plane tickets that you took were meant for him and Jessica.
What? What do you mean? They weren't meant for you?
They had planned to use those tickets for their honeymoon. But they couldn't go on their trip.
What do you mean they were going on their honeymoon?
I know for a fact that this has been explained to you multiple times already. But you never listen to anything anyone tells you, do you?
Hey, you can't speak to me like that. What are you going on about? Explain it to me now. What are you going on about? Explain it to me now. They got married months ago. What honeymoon are you talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. They were only able to take time off around the holidays for their long overdue honeymoon.
So, that means when I overheard you on the phone the other day.
What are you referring to?
When I was at your house, I overheard you talking on the phone near the front door about the trip. Something about a holiday trip not being a bad idea. It sounded like you were excited about it. So, you see, I knew all along that you were secretly planning this trip for yourself. Yet you still try to hide it. And you're even blaming your son and his wife. Shame on you. How could you do such a thing?
The person I was talking to on the phone that day was Jessica, just so you know.
What? But kids these days don't like talking on the phone. Why didn't you message her?
We had a lot to discuss. And it takes a long time to have important conversations over text, just so you know. So I asked her to call me, and that's when she shared all about her and Gabe's honeymoon plans. Then she asked me about our plans for the holidays. And I mentioned that we were planning to stay home and watch the countdown. I casually mentioned the trip, which you overheard.
Well, why don't you explain why the tickets were carefully hidden then?
Excuse me. Are you saying that Frank putting the tickets in his bag was considered carefully hidden?
Yes. No one would typically search through someone's luggage. So it's the perfect hiding place for tickets. I was just fulfilling my duty as your mother-in-law to ensure you weren't wasting money unnecessarily. And then I saw the plane tickets that you had purchased. If that's not evidence that you were planning a trip, I don't know what is.
Are you out of your mind? Yes. No one would typically search through someone's luggage. You're not behaving rationally.
What? And you think you can talk to me like that?
Of course I do. And do you know why their bags were at my place in the first place? It's because they have to share their tiny apartment with a delusional woman who takes whatever she wants from them. If that person knew there were nice plane tickets just waiting to be stolen, they would have to cancel their honeymoon. That's why they were here in the first place. But it was all in vain.
So they were at your place because of that.
Yes, exactly. But if you don't believe me, why don't you go and ask Frank and Jessica yourselves? I'm sure they'll give you the same answer I just did.
So, you mean, it's all true?
By the way, Marilyn, who are you with right now?
What? What do you mean, who am I with? What kind of question is that?
Well, when you texted me asking me to pick you up from the airport, I texted your husband to confirm your statement.
You texted Gary.
That's correct. It appears that someone saw you with a guy who looked familiar, arm in arm, at the airport lobby.
Hold on a minute. I asked you to pick me up at the airport.
Well, we are actually at my uncle's condo right now.
You're what? Why are you there?
Yes, that's right. We're all here, the whole family except for you, and we were having a great time, until now.
What's going on? What does this mean?
Well, after the newlywed couple lost their chance to have their honeymoon, we felt sorry for them and reached out to my uncle. He had a nice condo available and invited us to stay there. It was an unexpected opportunity that none of us anticipated. But we packed our bags and came here until tomorrow.
No. You're kidding me. This can't be happening.
What's the matter now, Marilyn?
So Gary knows. It's all over now. What am I going to do?
Oh, really? Actually, I think he has known about your infidelity for quite some time. He's been gathering evidence to confront you.
What? You mean he's known all this time?
I can't believe you, honestly. Not only did you ruin your own grandson's honeymoon, but you did it so you could have a free trip with your secret lover. How can you live with yourself? How does that make you feel?
But I didn't know.
Anyways, I'm sure you'll be hearing from Frank soon, asking for reimbursement for the stolen tickets and cancellation fees for the hotel reservations. They won't be able to take their honeymoon until this summer now. I suggest you pay them back before then.
Wait, no. You can't be serious. I don't have that kind of money.
Well, I guess the only other option is to involve the police and handle this in court, don't you think? Anyway, I don't want to get so upset right after the holidays, so I'll be leaving now. The person whom Marilyn was having an affair with was another man residing in the same neighborhood. They were both caught by Marilyn's husband. And the man's wife, accompanied by her lawyer, was also present. Consequently, they swiftly served divorce papers. Following her own divorce, Marilyn believed she would find some sympathy by visiting my house. However, I promptly insisted that she leave my property. Marilyn informed us about her ex-husband severing all communication with her, but we were indifferent. Subsequently, she attempted to seek refuge at Frank and Jessica's place. However, upon Jessica's sighting of her, she erupted into anger, frightening Marilyn away. Left with no other option, Marilyn returned to her desolate, empty house and eventually reached out to her siblings. Presently, she resides in a cramped corner of her brother's house, struggling to make ends meet as she endeavors to repay her debts.